Well, my name is Mary White, and I'm from the National Standards Authority of Ireland, known as NSAI. NSAI is your national standards body of Ireland, and it's the gateway to finding out what standards currently exist or are being developed at both local and international level. Now, if any of you are involved in seeking EU research funding, I would like to make you aware of the role standards has played in securing such funding since 2014, in particular with Horizon 2020, and in particular with three pillars within Horizon 2020, such as excellent science, industry leadership and society change. And just as a matter of interest, how many of you are involved in standards or are aware of standards? That's a few of you. Oh, that's good. That's nice to know. Well, the objective of my talk today is I want to talk about standards in research and EU funding policy, then standards in future emerging technologies, and how standards can help, or how NSAI, we in NSAI can help inform you about standards free of charge. We've also got a stand here today, we're at stand 146, and there's a team of us here who'll be quite happy to give you further information. So, basically, I wanted to go back to fundamentals. What is a standard? Well, a standard is a document, such as something like this here. It's voluntary in application. It's developed by all interested parties. So if you could take the group of you here in the room here, we could have academics, we could have consultants, we could have people from industry, or we could have the regulator. And therefore, they reflect consensus. So all of you must be in agreement with the standard and what is being proposed. They're approved by a recognised body such as ourselves, NSAI. At a European level, it could be CEN. At an international level, it could be ISO or IEC, or it could be an industry standard such as ASTM, ANSI, IEEE. There are a myriad of international standards bodies out there. Now, if you want to use, or if you're involved in R&D and you're using standards, you have two options. The first option is you can develop your product, you can reverse engineer it to fit standards, you can reverse engineer it to meet regulatory requirements, which will result in you playing market catch-up. But it's a little bit more work, but it is worth it in the end, so please trust me on this. You should research and read all relevant directives and standards. Use this information as a foundation for product development, test and verify for standard compliance, and you will be compliant, market ready, and you're ready to sell. So in this diagram here, I've just got a little schematic diagram here, and they're in 4 different parts. So if we actually look at our basic research here, well, you first will be looking to find out what are the applicable directives. What standards will guide you through the basis of initial research. Then we go down to the next part here called applied research, down here. And there are product standards, material standards, there to support you through your applied research phase. Then you get into the experimental development stage. Well, you don't have to invent new tests because there are standardized tests. And these will reduce time and cost. And then finally, when we get up here to access, market and maintenance, well, there are standards there demonstrate market readiness to compliance with standards. So, to talk about EU funding policy. Well, when Horizon 2020 was introduced, a key dimension of Horizon 2020 was the introduction of technology readiness levels, otherwise known as TL or TRLs. When I say technology, I'm talking about referring to either building on an existing technology or establishing an unproven concept. And TRLs are indicators of the maturity level of particular technologies. So what you've got here is you've got a series of different levels here. Now, I deliberately left out 0 and 1 because there are no standards for maybe doing pure research work, but there's an opportunity maybe to develop a standard. So if you looked at any one of these levels here, you will find a standard to help you in your journey in your technology readiness level. So this measurement system, it provides a common understanding of technology status and addresses the entire innovation chain. So where might your project be? Could it be for applied research? Could it be for a large-scale prototype? But by having standards in your proposal gives the assessor confidence for proof of concept, evaluating the technical specifications and product process and ensures market readiness. And if you don't have standards in your application, there is a very likely chance that your application will not succeed. So the EU are very, very conscious of in taking notice of the role of standards. And as recent as April 2016, they have changed their EU policies in terms of the single digital market. Now we're all in the single market, there's 28 countries currently, but we could be down to 27. And the EU are now focusing on 5 ICT areas, prioritising global standardisation in 5G, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, cloud computing and big data. And all of these technologies here are basically the foundation stone for digitalising existing technologies. And it's important to recognise this in future work. So, applying for research funding, 10 things standards can do for you in terms of innovation. You will see there from 1 to 5, I'm not going to go drill down through them all. You've got support research, promote innovation, creation of new markets, facilitate trade and ensure the quality of products and services. So standards support research. Well, how do they do this? There's a strong focus on bringing research results to the market. How? Well, this is achieved with standards as they foster competition and thereby creating a level playing pitch for research and innovation and hence cut costs. In terms of innovation, standards existing for existing products, and these provide basic requirements for your products and promote innovation. So when you innovate, you need to know the established TRL or the technology readiness level, and standards help promote innovative products and services. In terms of compatibility and interoperability, standards help ensure compatibility and interoperability. Take your mobile phone. Your mobile phone first came into the market in the late 80s, but it wasn't until 2010 that there was a European standard that was developed for mobile phone chargers. So this enables you in your household, you might have different phones, you might have a Samsung, you might have a Nokia, you might have a Vodafone, and you can use the same charger, that's down to the standard. So it creates interoperability, with the exception of one mobile phone, the bad Apple. Apple does not allow you to interchange phone chargers. So that's just a very simple example of how standards helps interoperability and compatibility. Do you know that there are 120 standards for a credit card? And there's more to come. So that's to ensure for you, the user, that there is safety there. So standards play a significant role there. In terms of quality standards, you take the latest technologies such as additive manufacturing. Well, they improve, you have to have a certain type of product or material for working in additive manufacturing. So standards improves the quality of products through an application of state-of-the-art technologies and techniques, and most importantly at the same time ensuring safety, quality control and quality assurance. And the standards I were referring to there is a suite of standards. You've all heard of ISO 9001. Today there is the health conference, so the equivalent standard for that would be ISO 13485 on quality management systems. My colleague Linda Henty is here in the audience, and she is our healthcare standards expert, so if you have any queries on healthcare standards, please talk to Linda. And in terms of additive manufacturing, Fergal Flynn, my other colleague, is here, and he is the key man that you could talk to afterwards at our stand about additive manufacturing standards. So standards also facilitate trade. They support exports by removing technical barriers to trade in both European and in the single market. They standards enhance visibility, and then they also support compliance and regulation. So by implementing reference standards, industry can meet legal requirements for placing goods on the market. And standards are universally accepted and recognised internationally. But what one thing standards can do, it can accelerate time to the market, faster and easier market uptake. Swiftly moving on, standards are very good, as I mentioned, for dissemination of your research results, faster and easier market uptake, and access to European and international markets. I'm going to mention about public procurements. The EU believe very, very strongly that they want to streamline processes and to make it easier for people like you in business, such as SMEs, to apply, say, for public tender. There is now an EU directive that was established in 2014 on e-invoicing. E-invoicing has been there for a few years, but there are quite a number of standards on the go there. So they are developing a common standard, and by the end of 2018, if you are tendering for public procurement, you are obliged to work to this particular standard. And there are over 300,000 e-invoicing contracts currently in Ireland. The next slide I'd like to talk to you about is future and emerging technologies. Well, here you've got nanotechnologies. A subgroup of that would be graphene, quantum technologies, robotics, cobots, blockchain, biotechnology, medical and neurotechnologies, and green technologies. And just to give you a flavour, within nanotechnologies, graphene and quantum technologies are a subgroup here, and there are 53 published standards by ISO, the International Standards Organization, and the IEC electrical standard organizations produce standards on nanotechnology for electrotechnical products and systems. In terms of robots and cobots, there used to be standards there for industrial automation, but now they have their own standards committee known as ISO for robotics. And as you can see there, 14 published standards. They will be jointly done by ASTM and ISO, that's the American Standards for Test Methods. And now there's a new committee for cobots, in particular for medical devices. In terms of blockchain, well, blockchain is really getting big. Blockchain is about the electronic distribution ledger technology. No standards yet, but watch this space. There is a new international standards committee on this called ISO TC 307. They're having their first plenary meeting in Australia in April, and we here in Ireland, with the IDA and some industry partners, are very keen to develop working in this area. So if any of you have an interest in this, you can help shape the standard, and please get in touch with us afterwards. In terms of biotechnology, we have an international committee on biotechnology, and in medical and neurosciences. We have quite a number of committees on that, which is international, ISO, and the quality management standard there is for TC 210, and that is the committee that developed the ISO 13485. In terms of green technologies, we've got standards, 33 published standards for green technologies. So if you're involved in research, please be aware that all these standards do exist in these committees. In terms of data analytics, well, there are so many ICT standards. I just couldn't describe how many that are there. But what this is an ISO and IEC joint technical committee. And there are quite a number of standards which cover cloud computing, Internet of Things, green technology, smart cities. So finally, getting down to market readiness. So we have a little electromechanical device. Supposing you want to develop a garage shutter. So this is electromechanical device. You want to get it market ready. So you have your electric motor and your mechanical device. You then have a low voltage directive, electromagnetic directive, and a machinery directive that you must comply with. And you must then work with harmonized standards. And when you work with the harmonized standards, you do the testing and compliance to these standards, you're then market ready and you've got your CE marking. So CE marking, it's a declaration that you are conforming to the legislation. And if you want more information about CE marking, we have a very good book on our stand on an EU guide for bringing products to the market, and it's all free of charge. So finally, case study, Dramone Engineering, based in Omeath. They couldn't exist. They're very much an innovative company. They could not exist had they not been working to national, European and international standards. And they work with a company called Scania. So health and safety is very important for them, and they are constantly innovating. A very good example of how they work very well with standards. So finally, just buying standards. If you're in one of the 5 universities, you will have free access to DIT, IT Sligo, and there's another university, CIT Cork. If you have these standards collection, which is the Irish, European or international standards, you can download any of these free of charge. However, if your college does not have these standards, if you were to buy them, you just remember an ISEN is the same as a BSEN, but you can get the Irish version for €30 as opposed for €116. Thank you all very, very much. Enjoy the rest of the conference today. We're at stand 146 if you have any further questions for us. Thank you for your time and attention.